Oh, good evening and welcome to Senior Info. And of course, Kelly's with me
I'm
tonight.
back with you, Harry.
Yes.
Thanks for having me once again.
The first Thursday in
Of the month.
November.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Here we are.
And time is marching on.
It certainly is. Yeah.
But our guest tonight is Micha Shiva?
Shalev.
Shalev. Okay, we got it right.
Yeah.
And Micha is the owner of Dodge Park and the Oasis at Dodge Park.
That's correct. Thank you, Harry, and thank you for joining me. And thank you for, inviting me tonight.
Yeah.
And nice meeting you here in
Great
person,
time.
too.
Yes. Great time.
This is my pleasure
And
to
we
be on
wanna
the show
talk-
here.
Something that's very important to older people because you could end up there, and that's dementia.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, as we get all old and we cross the threshold of 80, 85, 90 years old, the chances for everyone to get dementia is pretty high. So
Yeah.
I'm dealing with this with both levels. One with as an administrator and co-owner for Dodge Park and the Oasis, but also I'm dealing with this individually with my own dad. He's right now 87, having advanced dementia and Alzheimer, and he's no longer recognizing me at this point too.
Oh,
That's
that's
difficult.
horrible.
So this is the hardest part for all
Yeah.
family member.
It's
that-
one thing, it's your work, and
Right.
you do a wonderful job in your work, but then when it hits you personally like that,
It's hard.
even though you have a lot of knowledge, it's hard to be.
I have to admit it's hard.
Yes,
I
it
have
is
to
hard.
admit it's really hard.
Yeah.
But for my sister, it's a lot harder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to deal with this more in a rational, with a logic way, and
Mm-hmm.
try to instill my experience. But I see how hard it is for my sister.
Now, my research, I saw that for men, dementia is more likely to happen than prostate cancer, and for women, it's more likely than breast cancer.
I don't know. I don't like to make this assumption because we
Okay.
see the whole market change. We see a lot more male right now at 80 and 90. I
Well,
see
that's,
it.
I'm saying that the dementia comes on because of age, right?
Yeah, I can tell you, we have quite a few residents in my building, over 100. I
Yeah.
have a lady, actually, about 2.5 weeks ago, we celebrate 107 years old.
Wow,
Oh, my God.
that's amazing.
That is,
And we have a resident actually moved to our facility about a couple of years ago from Florida on hospice, pretty much to end of life care. And she lost 5 more years with us and 102. And we have actually right now a few people over 100 in our building. And as I was driving to Boston the other day, I see a big sign by insurance company that says 1 out of 4 baby born today will live to be over 100.
I know, that's again quite common to be over 100 now. And people in their 80s is really common.
Right.
You have a number of them coming to the senior center, right?
We do. We have a good part of our population is mid-80s and beyond. But really, some really vital, active 90-year-olds.
Yeah.
It's
That's
just
that's a
amazing.
blessing,
It is.
that's a blessing to get to
Yes.
this age. I know my mother-in-law, she's very active. She's 86 years old, but
Yeah.
she's very active and she volunteer. She used to be a school principal and she volunteering now working with special education children
nice.
too.
I think that's the key.
That is the key. Thank
the
you,
key is to
Harry.
be active. The key is
Yes.
to be active.
And
I had
do that.
a resident that the son was 86, he's a dentist, and his office was at the 5th floor in Worcester, the medical building. He never took the elevator. He taken the stair all day
Right.
long. You know.
Stay
Kept them
active
in
and
shape.
involved.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Yes,
is important.
that's a good thing. I mean, you got to be active. Keep your mind working.
Yep.
Isn't that mostly the idea behind Alzheimer's? You got to keep your mind going.
Well, there's a lot more research right now that Alzheimer actually is only one branch of the dementia.
Right.
If
That's
you're
only
talking
one
about
part.
dementia, we have Alzheimer, we have Lewy body dementia, you
Yes.
have vascular dementia,
Yes.
we have Parkinson type dementia, and
And
it's a
some
very,
can be early onset too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, it's really
Yeah.
sad. The saddest thing, I've seen more and more young onset dementia. I see people in the 40 and the 50.
Yes. My wife told me that they had people at the Eddie Pond that were
Yeah,
young.
it's not uncommon
We're
for that to
talking
happen.
40s.
It's
and
not
50s.
uncommon. Actually, I don't know if you're aware that a couple of weeks ago I read an article that the youngest guy ever been diagnosed with dementia was a teenager, almost 18 years old, with Alzheimer's disease. There was some kind with the gene issue, but he's so far the youngest one that recognized having active dementia due to Alzheimer in the world too. But you see a lot of people in the 40 and 50, and it's really, the youngest you are, the more aggressive the dementia will be, pretty much. And the progression of the disease will be a lot faster at a younger age too.
Now, is there any idea what brings on these types of dementia?
Like what?
What brings it on?
Right now, I don't
Is it
think.
diet? Is it?
They say so many teens right now, nobody ever mapped the brain, the human brain, 100%.
No, we don't know it much about the brain.
Until we find a genius guy that will be able to map the brain, we will not be able to find a cure. Pretty much right now, you deal with the what you've seen. Most of the people with dementia or Alzheimer, they tend to be, some of them aggressive, some to be more tired, some have developed depression, and some develop physical limitation. But by the end of the day, you're really dealing with the outcome. And a lot of doctors don't really do the full diagnosis, because by the end of the day, if you have an 80 or 90 years old mom, you're not going to put her right now to extensive testing or MRI or
Right, they're not
PET
going
scan.
to spend the money on you.
It's not about the money, it's about
Well, the doctor.
many of them cannot really tolerate,
Ah,
this kind of testing.
Testing, yeah,
oh,
yeah.
So most of them wants to deal with a loved one in a comfort care measure, pretty much too. That's why in our building, thanks to all our collaboration with our medical team, and this is a bit different from where your wife was, because if somebody living with Dodge Park or Oasis, and not feeling well, and medical director want him to go to have like X-ray or blood work or EKG or urinalysis to check if make sure they don't have urinary infection, we can do all the tests on site. So
Wow.
we try to avoid send them to the emergency room.
oh, that's good though. That's, yeah,
Yes. I can tell you right now, going to the emergency room in Massachusetts is not fun at all.
No,
It's
no.
not fun.
No.
Especially UMass, because we're very close to UMass or St. Vince. They can be hours of waiting. They
Oh,
can
I
be
know.
days, day in the corridor. And for elderly people, that's the worst thing that you can do.
And if they have memory issues,
And if you
it
have memory
can, it
issue,
can just
then
compound it too.
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
compounding.
Yeah.
And if they have urinary issue, it's also compounding, because they don't understand what's happening, and then they might get agitated or might get restless. And then what they're going to do, they're going to inject them with something to calm them down. And now you're dealing with the whole process of what I'm calling hospital-acquired delirium, which is a very known phenomenon for elderly people coming from hospital. And when they develop delirium on top of the dementia, then you have a really crisis on your hand. They might get paranoid, they might get agitated, they might get combative, and they kind of, now you, instead of fighting one war, you're fighting with 2 or 3 fronts right now at the same time.
But now, couldn't they go to an urgent care facility?
To urgent care?
Yeah, which is,
But
it's
Not
like, you know,
not from your facility. You wouldn't be able to
No,
send them to
from
an
my
urgent care,
facility,
right?
they have to go directly to the emergency room if the condition is really bad.
Right.
Because when our medical director order us to do all the testing, and we do all the testing, so most of the things we can deal on site if they have urinary infection,
right,
or if they come in just with bronchitis, or if they have pneumonia, we can get an order over the phone from the doctor for antibiotic, and we can deal with this internally. But if the blood work shows something really major, severe dehydration, or severe increase of potassium level or sodium, this is a really urgent thing, or kidney malfunctioning, you don't want them in urgent care, you want them in the emergency room to
But
get the
now-
proper care.
if you send them by ambulance, you get service quicker.
Yes and no. It used to be like this, but right now, so many people try right now to bypass the waiting. They use an ambulance, and then the ambulance do a triage, and send you back to the lobby, to wait in the lobby. Especially if this is really, if the ER is fully packed. So it's really need to be on top. I mean, dementia resident or elderly people in our community, we really need, we know them very, very well. We know right away when they're changing. If once they change, you need to find out, we need to make sure if somebody lose weight, why they losing weight. If they stop eating, why they stop eating. So dementia resident, or if somebody has diabetes, the main thing we need to watch, number one, they don't develop urinary infection. Because urinary infection can really contribute to behavior, can contribute to loss of appetite, can affect the physical stability of how they walk.
Oh, yeah.
Or if
Well,
the,
it could
if
be
the
like
sugar
having
is too
flu.
low, the sugar is too high for people to diagnose with diabetes type 2 or type
Right.
1, this is something you really need to monitor very, very closely too.
Right. Well, I went to the emergency room a week ago by ambulance. And they took care of me right away. I went to Milford.
I don't know about Milford, I'm telling you, UMass and St. Vince,
Yeah, I
it's
know.
not fun right now
Very
too.
busy.
Milford seemed to be a lot lighter, than UMass
Right.
Memorial or University campus too. Because the problem with all the closure right now of the hospital in the Massachusetts in our region,
Yes.
UMass Memorial and University, especially University, is a trauma center. And any major, accident or thing, they usually airlift and they bring them all the way. And if somebody come with a major accident with airlift, they get priority. They focus on the trauma room,
Yeah.
which is understandable.
Yeah, very understandable.
It's understandable. I mean, our population grow, especially the Worcester County population grow, and people moving in, but our services, emergency services, not really grow in the same level like the population. That's why actually the Department of Public Health recommend people to go more to urgent care for non-urgent
Right.
issue
Right.
too.
Right.
And there's some really wonderful urgent care. You can go in and out, get an X-ray, CT scan, and be in and out,
Oh, yes,
too.
I've been to urgent care here.
Yeah.
But, the last time I went to urgent care here, my blood pressure went over 200, so they put me in an ambulance and
It's essential.
sent me to Milford.
Well, yeah, blood pressure of 200 is really something
Right.
you want to worry about too.
Yeah, I got a problem. We're still trying to work it out with my doctor. We still haven't figured out. I'm going to a gastrologist in December.
Mhm.
I get
So,
horrible pains
so
in
like
my,
a,
at the top of my stomach.
yeah.
And they think like a pancreas attack.
Oh,
Pancreatitis,
Not pancreatitis, but similar to it.
okay.
okay.
So,
And that's what this recent visit was?
yeah,
Yeah.
I was, well,
You were
it was
doubled
11
over, I
o'clock
bet.
at night. I called the ambulance myself. I couldn't take it anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, well, it's not fun.
No.
Yeah.
And what did they do in the hospital with you?
They gave me a what do you call it? Well, they did the chest
Ultrasound.
X-ray and the
CAT scan?
CAT scan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And,
Well, I'm glad and everything okay, I hope.
but they couldn't find any real problem.
Interesting.
And
And you
blood-
haven't had an attack since, a pain?
No.
No.
Well, I sent everything to my son, all the test results, and he can't treat me, but he can advise me.
Of course.
And he gave me a diet, and I've been on that
Oh.
diet ever since, which, I ate eggs today.
Oh,
Couldn't eat
okay.
your sausage or bacon.
Right. And I heard it was
No.
good. I didn't have any either,
Yeah,
but.
I can't have no fatty foods.
Yes, that's
Oh.
usually the main thing, to avoid fatty food too.
Yeah, that's what I do completely.
Usually if you had a pancreatitis, I mean, the main recommendation is to avoid fatty food.
No fat, no soda, no alcohol.
No soda, no alcohol, no caffeine.
Oh, okay, I gotta drop the caffeine then.
Are you a coffee drinker?
I only have one in the morning.
Yeah, I think once is not.
I think
but,
one is-
But if you can do a decaf, you can also.
Yeah. I was doing decaf, but I said, I'm getting tired of decaf.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I'll
It's
go
not
back
tasting
to
the
it.
same. The taste
No.
is not the same.
It's not the same.
No.
You need that little bit of jolt.
Yeah,
So how many people are in the senior center that you have here?
So we are actually a very active,
yeah.
busy senior
Have a lot
center.
of programs.
Yeah, we have a lot of wonderful current educational and fun programs. And so I would say on average, we probably have about 50 people come through the door every day.
That's nice.
But
you
it's
know,
not always the same people,
Right,
and it certainly, and it changes seasonally as well, because right now we're also, I call us like the social service area of our town. We help people with their benefits and fuel assistance, and so right now is a busy time for all of that.
Yeah, I'm sure now people need help with the open enrollment for all the Medicare
yes,
too.
absolutely. Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, I was telling you earlier, I get phone calls every half hour.
Yeah, everybody try to solace.
Yes.
I mean, the advantage that most of the people not aware, I know it's the open enrollment to the general public. But if someone moving into any long-term care facility like Dodge Park or Oasis or any other facility, and they want to change insurance, they don't really have to wait to open enrollment.
So it can be done at any
Yeah,
time?
it can done at
Okay.
any time because it's considered a qualified event.
Okay,
And let's say somebody at an HMO and they come into my team and they want to be cared by my medical team. We have a geriatric internist, we have a geriatric psychiatrist. We're actually using a psychiatrist nurse practitioner from Health Drive. And they want to get, we have a podiatrist on site, we have actually a dental hygienist on site too
oh,
that come in.
wonderful.
And if they want to do it,
You're a full care facility.
yeah, and no, we open a resource for the resident. The whole idea, as I said, to provide the best because actually we have a wonderful dental hygienist. She's a professor at QCC. She's the head of the
Nice.
department.
Okay,
But dealing with the dementia resident, take them to a dentist's office is not always viable.
right.
And she can come and do a wonderful cleaning on
Yes.
site for the people on a regular basis. But what I'm trying to say that other people are not aware that moving to a long-term care facility is considered a qualified event. I usually recommend to everybody when they do open enrollment to go back into Medicare, get a Part B, which is a supplement to cover
Yes.
the 20%, and take a Part D. My recommendation is usually never take the Part D together with the secondary. And I can tell you why, because medication, especially when you deal with dementia resident, can change.
Ah.
So if all of a sudden you switch to a med that might cost $400 or $500, when you have a separate Part D, you can back out of it every 30 to 60 days and switch to another Part D. And then based on the medication that you are taking too.
Okay, so you can continue to shop around.
Yeah, and this is
so to
something
speak.
we usually help them. Actually, we have a wonderful lady, her name is Beth. She's not working for me, she's independent agent working with insurance, but she actually consults with all my residents that need help, and she helped them to put them on the regular program. And I give you an example. You know, there's a new medication that was authorized for Parkinson with dementia and the people that might have hallucination or behavior. Those meds can be about $500 to $700 a month.
Wow.
But you can find the Part D that can help it, and then we can contact the company, and they can provide a voucher to help finance the cost. And this is usually what my director of nursing and my ADON work in, because we try to work directly with those providers for the people that cannot afford, so they can get
Yeah,
the
very
right med
important.
for
That's
them.
a lot of money to come up with every month.
Yeah, I mean, our goal again is to get the resource for our resident, so they will be able to benefit not only from the best care, but also from the best medication too.
Yes.
And by the end of the day, I mean, medication is really getting out of hand, the cost, many of them.
Right.
I know people have taken like medication for AFib, like Eliquis, can be
Yes.
very, very expensive
Right.
too.
Yes. I'm on Eliquis.
Sorry?
I'm on Eliquis.
Okay.
And yeah, I only pay a copay of $20, but I asked CVS, they told me it's $500.
Yeah, it's about $500 to $700 just for the Eliquis,
Yeah. I'm glad I don't have to pay that.
Right.
Yeah, and unfortunately, people that don't know, they have to choose between taking the med or buy food,
Yeah.
And this is the sad reality.
Well, if you have to pay $500 a month, that's a big part of your check.
It's a big part, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big part of the check. So this is something that is really important. And also the advantage that we also have in our community compared to a traditional assisted living, that if a resident move into Dodge Park and run out of fund, we can keep them on site and we can transition them to the EADC, which is part of the emergency aid for elder and disabled children. And then normally they get a mass health standard. And normally once they get a mass health standard, we have a special contract with Fallon, with the Navicare plan, and we assign the mass health benefit to Navicare because they can provide a full package. This is based on a unique program that we sign with them.
Nice.
They can provide all the incontinence supply. They can assign a navigator, which is a special social worker to work with the family.
It's like having your own personal case manager.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they can also help with the transportation cost to the medical appointment, which must help it become very, very rigid. So this is a huge advantage that and they'll be able to continue seeing all our clinicians that come in on site. And this is the big advantage for our residents. So the care there's a continuation of care too.
Do you also work with the PACE program?
No, we don't work with PACE.
You don't work PACE, okay.
We don't work with PACE. We used to work with PACE in the past, but it's not a good fit because we like the flexibility to call to our medical team 24/7.
Right,
And working with the PACE doctor is not always convenience. They're not always
Okay.
available, and they
Right.
not always know the people.
okay,
And they will tell me send them to the ER, which I don't want to do.
right. You want to
And
avoid
our
that.
medical team know our resident very well because actually the nurse practitioner for our medical director, she's in our building every week, Wednesday and Thursday. And they know our clients. So if the client have high blood pressure, all of a sudden the sugar jump, they know our resident very well, and they can give instruction to my nurses what to do over the phone,
Right.
and we can incorporate the care. But so it wasn't a good match for us working with PACE. I know for some people, they're still living at home, it might be a good option, but
Right.
it's not an option for us too.
Right. Can you just explain to the audience what a rest home is versus a long-term care facility? You consider yourself long-term care, but your level of care is a little bit different from a standard nursing home.
Yes, that's correct. I mean, actually in Massachusetts, there's 3 levels of care. You have the assisted living, you have the rest home, and we have the nursing home. So assisted living licensed by EOESC, which is completely different than our. We licensed by the Department of Public Health,
Okay.
completely like a nursing home. Technically, by definition, rest home is considered a nursing home level 4, where traditional nursing home is a level 1 and level 2. We don't have in our building, in the unit, a rehab, but people that move to our facility, we can utilize the PT and OT. We use an agency called Care Tender,
Okay.
and they provide the PT and OT on site. I know they usually deal with people on Medicare. That's why we really like to have when people come on Medicare. But if people have a different insurance, like Taft or any other HMO, we're working with few other based on the insurance. But our number one preference is to work with our designated agency, because what we did, we assigned a very specific team to my building. And this team are always in my building. We know, we vouch them, and we know they're there for the resident, and they're not coming here just in order to build the insurance.
Right.
So back to your question about assisted living, they're kind of very limited of what they can do. Most likely, most of the residents, especially when they develop dementia or advance, they will have to move from the building to another level of care. And we have quite a few residents actually move into our building for our facility, especially people that need PRN medication or any psychiatric med that required as needed. So they cannot do it. We can do it. So we kind of, it's a very unique, and again, our facility is very unique because we are not a typical rest home like you have in the Commonwealth. Also, there's a couple more in the near Boston do what we do, but we really specialize only in dementia care. We have, that's one of the reasons we have a nurses 24/7 that most of the assisted living don't have, and most of the rest home don't have too.
Right.
So we can utilize, the only idea is just to provide a true agent in place. We not admit people that are kind of bedridden or kind of need a mechanical lift upon admission. But if someone in our building in decline, we can definitely work with them and the family, and we'll get to a point so we can assign a comfort care too as well on site too. Our nurses can definitely help with injection as well too. This is a bit different to assisted living as well. So we have all team in place that kind of provide a unique and hybrid between assisted living and a nursing home. The way I like to define it, we provide a lot more clinical than assisted living, but a much, much nicer environment than a nursing home.
Right.
Because by the end of the day, most of the residents really respond well to environment too. Environment is one of the most important factor when you choose a place for a loved one, because if you move into an environment that is very depressive, it's very hospital-like, people
Yes.
tend to develop some kind of confusion or depression. Usually they stop eating. The ball starts rolling out, not in the right direction. And we try to create a beautiful environment. So our new facility, when we open up, we actually build the Oasis from ground up.
And when was that?
Oasis was opened in January 17.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it's unbelievable, but it's almost like 8 years.
Right.
I know,
Yes.
time goes by.
It
so
does.
fast.
Time go fly. Actually, you're talking about time flying. Today, my HR director come to me and told me, by the way, Luz, one of my senior housekeeper at Dutch Park, she's been with us already for 9 years.
Oh, wow.
I said, where the time fly?
Yeah.
I remember the day she started.
Right. Yeah.
So Oasis was open in January 17.
Okay.
It was built from ground up on one level. Oasis was licensed for 50 residents. And Dutch
And how
Park
many
is
in Dodge Park? I'm
60.
sorry. Okay.
Dutch Park is 60, Oasis is 50. And actually, as you walk into the Oasis building, on the right side of the wall, you see the dedication on the wall for Helen Flinter. I don't know if you remember her, but Ellen Flinter used to be the director of Department of Public Health. She passed away unexpectedly before we opened the building from cancer. And we dedicated the building to her because she was a major force, push us to open this
The Mass Department of Mental
No,
Health.
the Department of Public Health.
Public health.
Public Health,
Yeah.
for the
DPH,
state.
Department of Public Health.
Yes. Yeah.
She was one of the top person in charge of all licensure and survey for long-term nursing home and a rest home. And she really loved very much what we do and our approach to care. And she actually was really pushing up to do a rest home just dedicated for dementia
Because of
residents.
the need.
And there was not only there is a need, but it's a different source for the community. Because not everybody wants to go to a nursing home.
Right.
Actually, no one wants to go to a nursing
Right.
home. And especially right now, the state of the shape of all the nursing home in the Commonwealth and all over the U.S. is not really great. Many of them have really a huge shortage of staff.
Yeah, that's a
There's
big problem.
There's a big problem. There's a big turnover. And
Yes.
nobody
And
wants to know.
facilities closing.
Huh?
And facilities
And
closing.
facility are closing every single year because they cannot make money. I mean, by the end of the day, everybody like to talk about money, but by the end of the day, the requirement by the state, the requirement by CMS, the requirement by regulation or by federal, but nobody want to pay the right money for this nursing home to
Right.
operate in a way to provide a dignified care. And this is the paradox of all the healthcare industry too.
Yes, yeah, Medicaid doesn't pay anywhere near enough, right?
Medicaid doesn't pay well to a nursing home at all.
Right.
We don't get paid through Medicaid. At Dutch Park, we pay through the EADC, which is a form of a mass health, which is a state program.
Right,
The nursing home pay to a federal program, which is a Medicaid. Rest home, Dutch Park pay to the state. Oasis pretty much is a private pay. However, when people started Oasis and run out of money, we still allow them to transfer to Dutch Park.
Nice.
So we do provide the peace of mind to the community and to our customer. So no matter where you go, you might have money for 3 or 4 year private pay and you want to be in a beautiful Oasis, but you still have a peace of mind and you back off your mind that when your money run out, we will provide you the care at Dutch Park too.
Ah.
And this is a great peace of mind.
I've seen your ads on TV.
Yeah, we do have a
It's a
few ads on
beautiful facility.
TV, and we actually used to be a lot with my friend Jordan Levy, which passed away
Yes.
last year.
Right.
He was a dear friend, and it was really sad. I mean, he was
Yeah.
really a great advocate for what we're doing, as well as Jim Polito, too. Really, Jim Polito is really like what we're doing because he has personal experience, too.
Yes,
And we have, but primarily most of our customer right now is usually word to mouth or really professional referral by the geriatric team at UMass, which we work very closely with, or the team at St. Vince, so some of the geriatric psych unit in the Commonwealth, like we have one in Clinton, you have in Metro West.
Yes.
We have different kind of hospital, and this is another thing that's really a huge shortage, which is a geriatric psych unit in the
Oh,
Commonwealth.
yes.
yes, because it's becoming a bigger problem.
Yes, because if you,
Was
let's
it
say
Gardner
Huh?
was it the Gardner Hospital that closed, or is
Haywood.
that still?
No, I don't think Gardner. I think one other. I usually don't. I don't work with them very often. I work very, very frequently with the Clinton.
Hospital, yeah.
We're working with Metro West too,
Mhm.
as well
Okay.
too,
Yeah.
because it's a larger facility. And we're talking about geriatric psych facility. You probably don't have experience with this, and I'm glad you did not.
My
But
mother-in-law was in Clinton.
Huh?
My mother-in-law ended up in Clinton
in the
for,
geriatric psych unit.
yes, for a very short time.
Right. I mean, this is really, if you live in the community and you have a loved one or spouse that become all of a sudden really out of control, you really the only option is to take them to the emergency room, and the emergency room usually call a psych to do an assessment, and if the people qualify, then they can transfer them to a geriatric psych unit where hopefully they can adjust the med too.
Well, we got him, she wasn't there very long, and she didn't want to be there because she
Mm.
was stable enough that she knew there was something wrong with the
Oh.
others.
Right.
Right. I mean, that's nice. I mean, but sometimes they
But
can
then
deal
she
in-
ended in, going to Beaumont, right here in Northbridge.
Right, okay. I mean, it can be a really good option for the people that don't really have under a resource, because if you have a crisis on your hand, you really have no one to call. There's no geriatric
Right.
team that can see you from today to tomorrow. Even if you want to see by someone in the geriatric team at UMass and you call, you make an appointment, well, good luck. You know, you probably have to wait months
Right.
before you have
Oh,
an
I
opening.
know, I mean, I'm gonna see a gastriologist, someone for my stomach, it's over a month,
Wow.
because they're just so busy.
Everybody busy. I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
doctors retired post-COVID. And there is no really new blood. I mean, I know
No, the doctors are retiring, and there's no new ones coming in.
there are, but they are
But
new
not
coming.
enough.
No, I can see, for example, with my daughter. My daughter started last year. She was the first year freshman at the medical school at UMass. too.
Yes,
This year she's the second year. But again, how many people can get in UMass? 100?
that's it, 100.
But again, none of them from Worcester or from our community. They come in from all over Massachusetts or from a different state too.
Right,
I know usually you must try to encourage more people local, but the reality there is not too many that meet the threshold to accept, or that's why they're taking people after they finish with the local. They take people from different states.
well, they
too.
also break it down, they take 50% men, 50% women.
I don't know how they do this. I'm not
I
part
know,
of the
my-
admission, so I
My
can't
son
speak for
applied
them.
to
You know,
UMass.
no, I can't speak for them, so I don't know.
My son applied to UMass and didn't get in,
Mhm.
and they asked, he said, why? And he said, well, you don't have a high enough GPA. He went to Cornell, and he had a 3.5. They wanted a 4.0. He
4.0.
said, from Cornell. If he would've went to University of Massachusetts, he would've had a 4.0.
Yeah.
But he ended up at St. George's.
Well, I mean, by the end of the day, all the medical schools have their own standards, so every school have their own admission guideline
Right.
too.
But they told him that we take 50% men, 50% women, then we take 30% minority.
Actually, my daughter was accepted to quite a few medical schools, very prestigious one, but we told her, you know what, you go to UMass, it's a very good school.
Oh, yeah,
Mommy, you do your laundry, You will have a, you will have a, you will have a dinner. You have a dinner ready.
She gets to live at home.
You have mommy car to drive. If it's snowy, daddy will drop you there and then go to
Yeah.
Dodge Park.
Yes, oh
and
yeah.
you know, then she,
And then she can practice a little bit at Dodge Park.
yeah,
So-
no, actually, she was working there since she
Yeah.
was teenager
Yes.
in activity.
Yeah.
Actually, my daughter, she established a chapter in Worcester for a national association that actually promote teenager to team up with people in a nursing home, and then they
Nice.
came and do the nail polish, the
Oh.
makeup.
Yeah.
So when she was in the high school, she arranged a group of students. They came to my facility and they spent time. Then she worked
Oh.
on activity.
That's
And actually, right now, she arranged the same group at the medical school. They come in, I believe, next week or the following one with a group of doctors to do the same thing.
Oh.
So we
wonderful.
really, I mean, I'm a great believer in community approach too. We done intergeneration. I mean, we partner with some school, the Boy the Children before COVID.
Well, that's good because the elderly work very well with younger people.
Yeah, we call it intergeneration program too.
Yes.
And this is really beneficial for both, for the children and the elderly. And actually, we bought pizza for the children, and they have a blast too. They
Oh,
were eating in
fun.
the middle of the activity room, and we bought the pizza for the kid, and we bought the pizza for our resident too.
Yeah.
And they all really had a blast, you know.
Yeah.
Of course.
I know Beaumont here introduced a daycare program
Right.
so that they get mixed with the elderly.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I know they used to have a facility in Worcester, but they shut down because UMass took over the building. They actually expanding they're building a beautiful facility. They're expanding up hospital bed, especially for a transitional unit, because
Oh,
it's well
It
needed.
was University Commons years ago.
Yes,
and
used to
then-
be.
Yeah, and
And now
Beaumont
actually,
bought it, yeah.
now UMass bought it because the issue right now in UMass, they have a bottleneck. People in the ER, but nobody live in the hospital, even people that's not really severely sick.
Right.
So that's why they want to move them over there to a transitional
I was going to
unit.
say, is it called transitional?
I don't know what exactly the name, I know what the idea, I don't know
Right.
what they're going to call them, but I see they had a whole new section for this
Nice.
Building too.
Oh, good.
It's a huge.
UMass is like a huge city in itself.
It is.
It is. I mean, it's
amazing.
probably one of the largest employer right now in
Yeah,
Massachusetts.
I would say yes,
In
yeah.
Worcester, yes.
I mean, it's,
And they keep expanding. I mean, it's good, you know. Listen, they provide employment, they provide in resource to the
And they
community.
just bought Milford Hospital.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But they bought Milford, the partnership with another hospital, Leahy Hospital too.
Oh, okay.
So really, the partnership on the medical school, the student usually practice both hospital right now. So the partners within
Well,
because
they've really partnered with a lot of hospitals. I mean,
Yes.
UMass is now part of Hanneman, Memorial.
no, they bought the
Yeah.
Hahnemann. They bought the Hahnemann too,
Yeah, and now
and they moved the geriatric unit actually from Memorial to Hannaham too.
and now they're involved with Milford Regional.
Right. But again, think about this as collaboration.
Worked well for me because all my medical records were available at all sites.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we are living in the age right now with electronic medical records, so all
Yes.
should be accessible, and this is a good thing too.
Well, the other thing is you get an on-site for yourself. You know, it's called MyChart.
Yes.
And like I had a urine test yesterday and a blood test. I got it all right there for myself to look at.
And you looked at it before your physician did, I bet.
Yeah, I did because
Yeah, most
he
of the
looked at it
time-
later on in the day. I looked at it when it first came
You know,
out.
I the same thing. I'm going to UMass. All my doctor at UMass. I do have one doctor at St. Vince, but I'm going to UMass. I'm doing tests like ultrasound or X-ray. I see the result
Yeah.
before even the doctor see.
Right.
In the past, I don't know if you remember, no one released information for you before the doctor was
Right.
able to see it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now you can see it. Sometimes you go to an appointment with the doctor. When I go to my physical with my cardiologist, I told him, hey, by the way, this result, he didn't even see the result yet, until I came to the meeting too.
Right.
Yes.
You pointed out to them.
Yes, I did that with my doctor. I said, I want to ask you about this, this, and this.
Yeah, so I think it's a very, we live in a very unique and interesting time where
Yes.
everything is involved, especially with the AI coming into picture right now too, the artificial intelligence. Actually, right now I heard somebody send me information about a device that you can use around your wrist, and utilizing the AI, it can do the marker for all your heart and the artery and the blood, and send it directly to your doctor via the cloud. Is amazing. I mean, where we're heading right now too.
Yes, my cardiologist had me at one time wired up. And
Yeah, you're talking about monitor, the heart monitor.
yeah, they had all kinds of buttons on me.
I know, but the new monitor
And it
right now,
worked through my-
but the
it
new
worked
monitor
through my
right now don't
computer.
have wire anymore. The new monitor are small like this. You
Yes,
push them over here,
yeah,
and no wire, and if you use it for 30 days, all wire going by
yeah, using
to, your-
Wi-Fi.
to the phone, yes.
My Wi-Fi at my home, they could monitor me at night.
Yeah. So it's really interesting times. So, as I said, the population age, and we all need, I mean, it's nice that we all live in longer, but we need to find a better quality of life too.
Yes,
And unfortunately, I mean, I don't see any time soon any development or anything that's going to cure the dementia and Alzheimer. And as more and more people age and getting into the 90 and 95, then you will see a larger and larger number of people with the declining dementia too.
I always looked at it as your brain is just like your muscles. You got to use them. You know, you have to exercise, or your muscles become flabby. They don't work that well. Your legs. Well, with your brain, read. Don't watch TV all day. Read. Do things to exercise your brain, make your brain work, make those electrodes connect.
Well, I can counter this. I know I have a lady that she used to be the dean at Harvard University. You can't say she's not using the brain or the mind.
Right.
She was a 78, and then one morning she wake up, she didn't even know where she lived. I have a guy used to be very active at 82. He was the president of all the auto show in the United States. So all the big auto manufacturers in the United States were chasing him to get a good in the show. Again, he drove one time. He ended up in different state, didn't know where he is, and the guy 2 days before he was working at his office 8 hours.
Yeah.
So it's really hard. I mean, the cardinal rule is you need to watch your weight.
Yes.
You need to watch what you eat. You need to watch your blood pressure. You need to make sure your heart is okay. You need to make sure you are having enjoyment in life and you don't
Yeah.
have depression. Because they say depression can be a big contributor to the issue with dementia. Another factor is an hearing. There is a connection between hearing loss and dementia too. And another factor is sleeping, to make sure people are able to sleep about 7 to 8 hours at night.
Yes.
And we know some people at a great age, sleeping can be an issue too. So this is really what you can do. You cannot control everything in the spectrum of your life. This is the item that you can control. And if you can control, hopefully, the theory is that you can minimize your exposure to this illness too.
But when you're younger too, don't abuse your body.
Right.
We tend to do that when we're young.
Yes, I mean, people overdrink, people use drugs, and and this is really can be a big down factors, when you get old, because some people think they will never get old, but we all eventually
It
will
does
get
catch
there.
up, yes.
I mean, this is
Well,
the old age will catch up with everyone too.
Getting old is better than the alternative.
Right. No, but I can tell you, smart person told me many years ago something that I will never forget. Aging is a matter of mind. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter.
It's right.
That's cute.
And this is really true, and this is something that we all try to live by, and this is something what I'm trying to instill into my staff. And basically, we have an amazing team. My team, I'm very blessed with the team working for both of my building. We're very, very well recognized. We actually recognized by Caring.com is a superstar community for memory care. And just to
That's
give you an
wonderful.
idea, we're the only facility in Massachusetts that get the Caring Star and Superstar every single year since they start this recognition. And this is something we're very, very proud of. Because we have a dynamic, very unique dynamic with our family member. All our family members, my cell phone, my partner's cell phone, my key manager, nurse's cell phone. And if you walk to other facility, most of the facility in the Commonwealth really owned by a big chain.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's all
the-
corporate.
Huh?
Yeah.
Corporate.
Or corporate, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the money you pay need to feed people down the chain.
Mm-hmm.
In
Yes.
our building, every money the people paying 100% to the care for the loved one in our building.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we have so much recognized and also staff recognition and staff enjoyment and also retention. Because, I mean, when you work in this industry, you not only want to hire the best, you want to retain the best.
Mm-hmm.
And retaining is a lot difficult than hiring.
Right.
So, because you can put people by the door because they don't know what they're getting into, but then you need to prove yourself
Yes.
that your business is worth for them to retain and stay. And especially when you're dealing with nurses, which is a very, very competitive market.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I can tell you, during the whole COVID, when there was a whole nightmare in many other community, we did wonderful. We never been short. We always had full staff.
Mm-hmm.
We don't use agency in my building, and this is something I'm very, very proud of on my team too.
Which
You didn't-
probably made a huge difference when it came to any outbreaks of COVID.
You know what? I hate to say this because I want to knock on my door if something happened, but we are the very few in the country that no one died in my building.
Wow,
Wow, yeah.
that's amazing. That's something to be
And
proud of.
I can tell you when COVID started, when you couldn't get hand sanitizer, you couldn't get a mask.
Right.
Ben and I, my partner, we cash our 401k and we order a full container from China
Oh,
with
wow.
hand sanitizer and mask. So there was never a moment that we have no hand sanitizer, we have no mask.
Wow.
We actually gave them away to some of our nursing home in our area where we're completely out. We actually, you know, when we have couple back, but they were manageable.
Right.
But again, you know, because we were very, very careful, you know, where people need the isolation gown that you couldn't get them.
Yes.
We actually partner, believe it or not, with a jail in Massachusetts, with two jail. And there was a guy, they actually put the people there, the prisoner, they actually did a special protection codes. So we were able to give my staff when there was a kind of a
Nice.
small outbreak too.
Okay.
And he
Wow.
actually contacted me. I didn't find him. He contacted me if I need,
Oh.
because you know we're always very proactive. And
Yes.
for somehow he ended up on my newsletter and say, absolutely, bring them over. We love to have them.
Yes.
And we actually did few cases to some nursing home around us as well too.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So you're also a good community partner and
Yeah, I mean we support the community in many ways. We support a lot of children initiative. We supported the VA building on Grove Street. We done a lot of initiative of supporting different organizations because we believe that we're part of the community and we need to support.
do you
How is the
also-
COVID
oh, sorry.
situation now? Is it pretty much under control?
Well, we just about a few weeks ago we boost all our residents again and staff. We need to make sure, and this is something I recommend all the audience, especially as we heading into winter, that everyone need to make sure they're up to date on the COVID, on the flu, and the RSV. This is really, really essential for everyone. Also, the people that didn't get the shingle vaccine, especially elderly, they should get the Shingrix. You know, this is the two-step vaccine, because shingle can be very, very painful.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So this is something everybody that listen right now, if they didn't do it, they should run tomorrow to the local pharmacy and get the shot. So COVID right now is in an uptrend right now. Actually, I monitor very closely the wastewater too. This is usually the best trend. And
Wow.
wastewater trend is really elevated right now. So, but again, we actually switched in the beginning of October, or late September. We switched all my staff and all my visitors to mask again when they visit,
Okay.
Oh,
just
Yeah.
to be safe, because even all my residents are fully vaccinated. We just want to make sure that we minimize exposure too. We do have on and off a staff member that tested positive, but again, I guess COVID will be around with us forever. I don't think
Just like
COVID
that's what
will
I
go away. Yeah.
understand,
Yeah.
yes.
It's going to be something that you might to do maybe annually or maybe twice a year. You have to take a new booster because we took another booster. Actually, from the beginning of COVID until now, I took 9 shots already myself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah, 9
Yeah.
shots.
Don't say it, Harry.
Huh?
I've taken 2. and
Yeah. Harry's done.
I'm all done.
It's helpful. I believe in immunization. And I know there's a lot of theory about, actually they say that it can protect the heart right now, the new booster, and teens. So it's good to have it.
Right.
I
Yeah.
take a good amount of vitamin D and multivitamin. I haven't got, I never got the COVID. I had it very mild, very, didn't even know I had it.
I got COVID once only.
Yeah, I got it once.
But
and
not during COVID, even when I walked out of the building. Actually, I get it when I went to a trip.
Oh, right.
and-
That's common.
Yeah, I went to a
Yeah.
trip, and the day I landed, I felt weird. Next day, I was positive. I took Paxlovid, and I get reinfected because of the Paxlovid too.
Oh, right.
Because people take Paxlovid, sometimes, I felt better. I was negative in after a couple of days. But a few days later, I feel weird. I test myself. I was positive again too.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
It's a reinfection because of the Paxlovid. But again, it's supposed to help you. So this is something that my dad just not long ago, about a couple of weeks ago, I had COVID. He actually got it from the caregiver too. And he was kind of sick, but luckily with the Paxlovid, he was doing okay.
Yeah, he improved.
He's improved,
Wow.
to a point.
Yeah.
Because I was really worried at this age, 87, with advanced dementia, and not with a great physical condition. A lot of things can happen.
Right.
But luckily, he recovered. He recovered from the COVID.
If someone wants to check out your facility, what do you recommend? Do you want people to call for appointments to tour?
Yeah, I'll be happy to tour the audience or anybody interested. They can call to the main number. The main number is 508-853-8180. They can also call me on my cell phone. I'm always available 7 days a week. My cell phone is 818-571-8971. Or they can check us online. You can go to www.dodgepark.com or
Yes.
oasis@dodgepark.com too.
You can take an online tour, right?
Yeah, we do
Yes,
actually
Oh, you
offer.
do? Oh,
We do
nice.
offer a virtual tour online,
Yes.
and if they want to go on our newsletter, they can sign up also online. We offer a weekly newsletter. Actually, I call it Friday Funny. This e-newsletter, believe it or not, is going for 29 years.
Wow.
Whoa.
29 years. And we can send them the newsletter, we can send them the monthly newsletter, they can see all the activity of calendar. Another thing that's very important for the people that listening tonight, we offer in also once a month a support group.
Oh, nice.
The support group is for caregiver or spouses or children for people diagnosed with dementia. Is on the third Wednesday of each month
Okay.
between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. It's free. It's open to the community. We offer a nice refreshment. We have a wonderful case manager, social worker, Dennis. Dennis actually used to be the head of the case manager in Clinton, the Jerry Psych unit.
Oh, okay.
So he has a lot of knowledge and experience dealing with dementia and the dynamic
Yes.
of family dealing with someone with dementia. And people are more than welcome to join. They don't have to RSVP. The support
can
group is
just drop
take
in.
place at Dodge Park. They just drop in come
Good to
in and they can come 1 month, they can come 2 months, they can take a break, they can come back. The importance of the support group is that you feel you're not alone. I mean,
Right.
part of the
Yes.
problem that people caring for a loved one, spouse or mother or father, they feel that they are alone all the time.
Yes.
And the support group can give you the resource. Another program we offer can be beneficial for the community. We offer an adult daycare. It's a social model. If someone caring with a spouse or the children caring for mom or dad and the one time from the self, it's a social model. It's not the adult day health. It's a social model. It's a very small program. It's 10 to 15 people only. It's not like of those big warehouses. And they can have fun. It's Monday to Friday from 9 to 4. And they can come, have a refreshment in the morning. They have a full lunch based on the dietary requirement. Then do evening snack. We offer a lot of entertainment with
You
the
supply
music.
transportation for the daycare?
Transportation we don't provide right now.
okay.
That's one thing we don't. I know unfortunately quite a few people asked us, but currently we don't provide the
So
transportation.
you have to do a drop-off.
It's a drop-off and then to pick up. But
We had
Is-
one
is-
here in town and it closed and.
We had two and they both closed.
Which
Yeah,
one?
and
So the Adult Day Health with the Beaumont, when it was Salmon,
right,
they closed, and that
And
was during
St.
COVID, and
Camillus.
St. Camillus.
right.
When
And-
St. Camillus sold,
And
the corporate facility that came in
Right.
chose not to continue.
because again, the adult day health. A lot of people ask me why I'm not doing adult day health.
Yes, I
but
was
the-
going to ask.
The reimbursement
Is-
compared to services, again, you cannot make money.
No.
So
Right.
what we do here, we want to provide a real fun. They come, they do art and craft. We buy a lot of art and craft. We have, they participate in our music program. We have in our buildings 7 days a week. We have a live entertainer.
Right.
And the people from the day club, they can join the music. Every day we have a different
Nice.
entertainer. In the morning, we have a yoga and chair exercise with a teacher, with a trained teacher. So we provide a lot of this. And the concept, in my eyes, for the adult day health, is just a big warehouses. That's the
Yeah.
reality of these
Right.
two.
Exactly.
And here we like to address, that's why I like to keep the program in a small, and it's mainly important that then sometimes people want to come to our building and don't have availability, at least they can get 8 hours a day of time from themselves so they
Yeah.
A
can
little respite.
do shopping, they can rest, they can go with their friends, and they don't really have always to be, because the sad reality here that usually the caregiver of someone with dementia is the one going down first.
yes,
He's the one going down first because the mental stress, the physical stress, and the emotional stress is take a huge toll on the individual. And this is something I always recommend people to get the support, talk with someone. Actually, everybody coming to a tour in our community, there is a book that I wrote a couple years ago, and it is available on Amazon. I sold quite a bit of this, but we provide it free for all the people that come in to tour our building, and this is another resource for them too, so they can really understand what they're dealing and where they can go for help too.
What's the name of your book?
I'm sorry?
What's the name of your book?
You know, if they search my name, that would be easier. It's a long
Oh,
name, they'll not
okay.
be able to
Okay.
remember it.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much the topic is about the dementia care.
Okay.
And I wrote it down from a point of view as administrator.
we gotta go.
Oh,
We gotta go.
okay.
Thank you. See you next week.
Check up on Dodge Park on their website. Great place.
Thank you
Yes.
for having me, and I'm looking forward.